Hi, Adrienne. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can. How about you? Can you hear me?
I can. You're early. Wow. Thank you very much. How's your day going there?
Beautiful. I'm having such a great time talking with, everybody's been amazing and the project is fun to talk about. So yeah, no complaints.
That project, when did you actually finish making this movie? I can't tell because it's one of those movies that can be futuristic, but it also could have been 2013.
We made this in January, February of 2019. So yeah, we had expected it to come out last year, 2020, but of course, pandemic has pushed it.
Right.
But yeah, it was all in all, it was actually a very fast. Pandemic aside, it was a fast project.
Do you remember how long you were on the set for? Like if it was weeks or months or days or anything like that?
You know what? I think that we had a 3 week shoot, and I wasn't there every day, but I
Mhm.
was there scattered throughout 3 weeks. So it's possible it was four, but I think it was 3 weeks.
Got it. What was the hardest part, if there was even a hard part, of making this movie?
Mostly this movie was really delightful and easy. This movie was fast and furious. The part that was difficult, if there was a difficult thing for me, is that I was hired literally last second.
Oh,
They had the casting process happening, and they were going to call me in for an audition, but it turns out that they had to shift their shooting schedule. So they suddenly needed that character the next day. So I got a call late at night, and the casting director said, I think you're right for this. I'm going to share your material. You take a look at it. Tell me if it's something you'd like to do. And so I literally was hired about 11:30 at night, and I was shooting about 2 p.m. the next day. So
wow.
yeah, it was amazing. It was extraordinary, but it was a very big day for the character of Josephine. She had it's like her giant monologue of the scene is what they were starting with, monologue of the movie. And I was just still trying to. I felt perfect for the character, but you're
Mhm.
still trying to really get grounded in it and feel legitimate. So it took me a little bit to feel completely comfortable. So that was probably the thing that was trickiest for me.
I would not know that from looking at it. It looked like you maybe did the coffee dates on the vibing sessions with your co-stars to make this film happen.
Oh.
So good on you. It's, obviously not your first film, to say the least. But with this film, did you know anybody within the cast or crew before you made it?
I didn't. The only person I knew was the casting director who I had been in for previously. I'd been close on a couple of her projects. So she's the only person that I knew. Everyone was brand new for me. And it was such a delight because you never know.
Hmm.
And they put together such a good team. There's kind of, we all know that there's usually at least one bad egg. And this was one of those productions where there simply wasn't. It was really, really lovely. It was a lot of talented people that just had not had. There's so many of them are new. That's the thing. I say this generously to myself, but I was kind of the dinosaur on set, So it was a different experience to have all of that youthful energy and uh, all of these people that are at the very beginning of their career. So that was kind of
Right.
really exciting.
Before I ask something about the dinosaur element of it all, was the film filmed in order? I can't tell if like page one to the end was in order or everything was done in clumps.
Well, it was definitely done based on location. So I would say it was probably done in order, but based on location. So, there's some things where you're slipping in and out of the film. Josephine's stuff was almost entirely in order, but not quite. But yeah, it that helps actually to when you're filming to have a little bit more ease of knowing where you are in the story. Well, yeah, it can be a little crazy.
Got it. Well, you use the most tragic term that you could ever use, which is dinosaur. But
I love dinosaurs. They're my favorite.
well, some people say journeyman,
Mm.
veteran, nonstop working human being with amazing credits. I mean, whichever one you want to kind of go with. But
Uh,
it's
Thank you.
it's amazing when I go over your credits that there's Star Trek and Star Wars. That's
Sure.
extremely rare. And then the other franchises that appear on there, like Xena, the video game related to The Sopranos, etc. How much of that is auditioned versus actually just somebody going, hey, you want to do this?
Oh, the vast majority of my career is auditioned. There's some people that I luckily get to work with again and again. So that has been a joy. But the vast majority of the time it is still an audition process. And I don't mind that, because I think everybody involved wants to know that who you are at this moment is what's right for this project. So I completely understand that. But I also love the fact that there are those opportunities that come to me where they just say, here, you wanna? And I say, yes.
Well, I was curious about the auditioning part of it, because your career is not just cut and dry, like she's an actress. A lot of people, it's she is an actress and that's what she does. But in your case, you've done a lot more producing in the last 5 to 10 years. And then you've also done a lot of voice acting work. And voice acting, my impression as an outsider, it's the kind of thing where it's feast or famine. You're either in or you're not in. And you seem to be in.
I love that you see it that way. um, I would say I'm just a consistently working actor. I think I have yet to be in the place where it feels like I'm in, because to me, feeling like you're in is when you're never having to wonder about what's next. And I feel like that's still constantly on the radar. But I'm also not someone who's ever been entirely out. I've never gone a year without working on something. So there's a level of comfort and predictability to that, in my opinion, or that I trust that I will continue to work, I guess is what I'm saying. And I've just been incredibly lucky that when roles come to me, they tend to be particularly juicy. Like there's a lot of stuff that I'm not getting, but the roles that I get are are you kidding me? I get to do that? So that's been really, really lovely. I feel like every few years I get the like, oh, and now you're this thing, which is really fun.
Well, looking at your IMDb page, Dreamcatcher is the last thing that comes up there. And some people, their IMDb page has stuff that they're not even in, has stuff that they've auditioned for and haven't gotten yet. It has them getting breakfast. And then other people, they just keep everything under wraps. Do you have other stuff that you know is coming up that you can't speak about, that kind of a thing?
I don't know if I can't speak about it, but I think when people, well, at least for me, when I don't speak about things, it's because it's like I have a movie I'm supposed to film next month, but we are still in a pandemic. So I don't actually know if that's really going to happen. And, exactly, fingers crossed. And I have a web series called Sidetracked that some friends and I have been lovingly making over the last 5 years that is supposed to come out this year. But again, based on pandemic stuff, that could be switched and pushed and whatever. So I know it will come out eventually, but the details, sometimes you feel foolish talking about them if you're not 100% sure.
I hear that. You don't like to talk about things before they happen. Understandable. Yeah. And that adds even more diversity to what it is you do. She's not just an actress. She's not just a producer. She's not just in the voice world. She's also doing her own stuff. Is the long-term goal for you to be more of a producer and or writer than an actress?
Oh, interesting. The truth is, my long-term goal is to have a really damn good time working with wonderful people, making projects I'm proud of. It doesn't really matter to me in the end if I'm in front of or behind the camera, because I have satisfaction with both of those.
Yeah.
What I want is just to be making a living, working with people I adore and projects I like. So that's kind of it. So I don't have a genre that I'm insisting on. I don't have a type of character. I don't have a title. I'm open to all of it. And the truth is, I also just sort of, even when I'm not wearing multiple hats, I function that way anyway. So when I'm just an actor, the way I function on set is more producer-like. Like I'm always watching all the pieces and filling in where it needs to be. And just because I want it to be successful, I want to do whatever I can to make something that I'm part of actually see the light of day. So yeah, so it's just that kind of thing. So I really, 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 knock on wood, really hope that my future has some juicy roles in it and some great, because there's an endless list of things I would still like to play and am excited to be getting into. And equally, I hope that that works for producing too. I hope that there are some projects that, whether I'm acting in them or not, that I get to help bring to the world.
Fantastic answer right there. Well, 3 quick questions and then you're free. First one, I have no idea. I couldn't figure this one out easily. Do you have a favorite band?
Oh, that changes all the time. How funny. Where would you look to find that information? That's hilarious.
Maybe there's a fan club weirdo newsletter thing where it says favorite food, favorite band. You know, maybe you had one of those. I don't know. A lot of people had them back.
You know what? It's entirely possible. That's so long ago that it's a fuzzy memory in my mind, but it's entirely possible.
Sure.
I will just say I'm obsessed with music. I listen to music nonstop all the time. I have an incredibly eclectic history and taste because I have so many influences. So I grew up around a lot of music, but I like everything from like utterly modern, whatever you can think of the moment of any genre, back to one day I might be listening to big band for a few hours. You know what I mean? Like it's that sort of, I just think there's amazing things. And in fact, I probably use Shazam more than almost anybody because I feel like it's almost not possible to watch television without having Shazam like right there, because there's so many great things. I do this thing where every year I make a playlist that is my playlist for the year that I'm just constantly adding to.
Me too.
It doesn't necessarily, yes, yay us.
Yeah.
So it's not just stuff that came out this year. It's just whatever I stumble upon this year or comes back into my world, or, like New Year's Day, started my brand new playlist. There's nothing in it yet, just start it. Later New Year's Day, I get a little bit of SWV happening. Like
Sisters with Voices.
What? Yeah, shout out to the 90s, yo.
Okay, yeah. Great group. Well, next question. Do you have a TV recommendation that you could pass along to someone who needs a new show to start?
I just saw something last week, actually, that I'm going to pimp out because it blew my mind a little. It's called The End. It's a show about death. I believe it's an Australian series, but the thing that's really remarkable about it, and it's something I'm really vibing on right now, is for years, you had all of these extraordinary actresses that there's just fewer and fewer roles for them as they get older. So they just sort of would vanish. And you had all of this extraordinary talent that would just be gone or not on screen,
Right.
And now there's these juicy roles being written for mature women, and like, wow, are they hitting it out of the ballpark? It's just wow. So The End, one of the main characters is Harriet Walters, who is probably, I don't know her age, so I feel bad saying this, but I'm going to generally say she's probably 70s, say. And this is a show where it is such a showcase piece for her. It is amazing. She has every emotion you can imagine. She is lovable. She is hateable. She is the best. She is the worst. She's also often naked, which is not something that you're expecting. And it's not at all gratuitous or exploitative. It's the most empowering thing I have seen in a long time. It's really lovely.
And from Australian television. Okay.
Yeah.
That is an educational pick that has not come to me yet. And my closer for you, being mindful of your time. Any last words for the kids?
For the kids, love your life, yo. Make it juicy and wonderful. Yeah, that's kind of it.
Works for me. Well, congrats on this new movie coming out. I'm really looking forward to seeing what's coming next for you very soon.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. It's been a joy.
Paltrocast.